Yay Media Group.
13 has been my lucky number for a while. Like, it's always a sign of good things to come for me.
This is 13, a Taylor Swift fan podcast, breaking down every song, every Easter egg, every era, and every theory. Hosted by the biggest Swifties, Nick Adams, Anna Zabo, Amy Nichols, and Lacey G.
Welcome to 13, a Taylor Swift fan podcast. My name's Nick Adams.
I'm Anna.
Amy. And I'm Lacey G.
We did it right!
Yay!
So if you're watching us on YouTube right now, all of the cameras are on the screen at the same time, and that's different. We had some tech issues, so this is the best way that it's going to go.
Oh, that one's done.
And then we also had to change Lacey's seat. She normally sits over by Amy on the other side of the room for various reasons.
I miss you.
Now she's way over by Anna.
I like having you over here, though. This is nice.
You too,
This is fun.
but I'm so conflicted. I feel like I'm sitting in the wrong seat. Like, you sleep on the wrong side of the bed.
Yeah. Do you feel like your lyric analysis is different?
Yeah, I feel like
Do you feel like it's better because you're sitting next to Anna?
But before we started talking, Lacey was saying she's nervous about the intros because we go in a certain order. We go in clockwise
In
from
the order.
me to Anna to Amy to
Should
Lacey.
we try it with the new order and see how it feels?
Sure.
Oh,
No. I mean, we could still
Let's
think
try.
it's like a clockwise spiral. Like you're the inner circle, and then we get around.
Oh, like the
you
man
to,
wall.
Yes.
that was good.
You know what I'm talking about?
I think I'm making her funnier. Did y'all hear that?
And that was a deep Swiftie reference. Like that was a very, very deep joke.
Hey, what's up? Welcome to 13, a Taylor Swift fan podcast. I'm Nick Adams.
I'm Lacey G.
I'm Anna.
I'm Amy.
It was not
Yeah,
smooth.
that didn't feel right. That felt sour.
And Amy
I like to be 3.
has to be 3. She has to be 3.
But what I do think is funny, if this is now going to be my permanent sitting area, then Amy is going to have a camera just on her
I know. I don't
as
like
a
that.
close-up, the one who doesn't like attention.
Yeah.
And if we wouldn't have had technical problems, we would have started with a close-up of Amy during the song Thank You, Amy, which would have been very, very fitting.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so let's get into track number 25 on the Tortured Poets Department. I Look in People's Windows, written by Taylor Swift, Jack Antonoff, and whoa, a third person.
Yeah, Patrick. Who is
Patrick
this
Berger.
guy?
I know.
Has he hit? I should have looked it up before, but has she written a song with him before?
So the only one that I'm seeing
This one?
but this is by the most popular, so there could be more.
Yeah.
But Slut
Oh, okay.
and Gold Rush,
Okay.
and then this one.
Oh,
Okay.
it looks like he's also worked with Bleachers, so he must have that connection
Jack
with
Antonoff.
Jack Antonoff.
Okay.
Lana
Yes.
Del Rey, he's been on Off to the Races.
Okay,
or,
good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks for answering my question. I could have just Googled.
Yeah. And so a nice, fun trivia fact about I Look in People's Windows, it is Taylor Swift's shortest song.
That is a fun trivia.
It comes in at 2 minutes, 11 seconds. And then the second shortest is 2 minutes, 26 seconds. And that's Now That We Don't Talk.
We don't talk.
Despite the irony that it is the shortest song, this song is a grower for me.
Yeah.
Yes, it took me a while. I think the more I listen to it, the more I appreciate it, and it's crept up there. Every time I listen to it, it's sneaking up. It's sneaking up to the top of my list.
Yeah, I'm going to have a hard time not putting this in the top 5, but
Okay.
we're doing top 10, right? Not top 5 because it's too difficult.
Yeah,
So-
this is with this song, to me, I can't, sometimes when I'm listening to it, I get this like anxiety feeling.
Oh, really?
When she's saying like out, like it's like she feels left out. Like I feel like there's anxiety of being
Outside.
left out, being on the outside.
And
But then there's this voyeuristic thing, this curious.
Yeah, and even the beginning of the song is like this. The music the music kind of sucks at the beginning, so it's like almost sucking your soul out. Or I don't know. It's very
And
unsettling.
also, when she's singing, it's very listful. It's
Yes.
very
Whimsical.
whimsical, but it's also like almost lifeless at times, where she's singing and you can tell. I feel like she's
Floating.
almost floating, but lifeless, as in like I'm half dead. I'm not relevant anymore. I'm worried about my status in life and in the world and in this relationship.
Right.
It's just like I'm not fully alive. I'm not fully dead. I'm just kind of here.
Yeah.
There's not like excitement in what she's saying.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like part of the reason we even get that feeling is because it is so short.
Sure.
You know, it's kind of like a little glimpse. Every time I hear it, it reminds me of This Love in the way that the song This Love from 1989 was a poem that Taylor wrote that then she decided to make into a song. And I Look in People's Windows, to me, is also just like a short poem that was then given a melody.
I could see that.
Kind of like a poem that you just put some music under.
Kind of.
Yeah.
a song, if you will.
Yeah. But not that like...
You are funnier.
Whatever, I'm not even going to explain.
No, please.
No, sometimes I feel like, okay, when you're making a song, the lyrics and the music, they match perfectly, they mesh, they go one and the same.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's some songs on this where I don't think the music and the lyrics necessarily mesh perfectly.
Yeah.
And I don't think they're intended to match perfectly.
Right.
I think so much of this is she's just word vomiting these feelings, she's getting it out, and yes, they are more poetry that you just kind of putting a little music on.
I agree. I definitely agree.
So, do you think that this is the shortest song in literal terms?
Do you think Taylor has tongs in her utensil drawer in her kitchen?
Add it to the list. Please don't.
Please don't.
But, like,
I must.
You have long tongs, and you have really short ones, like serving tongs.
Uh-huh. I bet she does.
I wonder if this is the shortest song. Yeah. Because if you are literally creeping something on somebody, wouldn't you have to be fast? You'd have to be like in and out. You don't want to get caught.
You don't want to linger at someone's window for too long.
Yeah.
Oh, I see
you
what
don't
you're
want to
saying.
get caught, so you'd have to be quick. And I mean, that's a super literal. I don't think she was like, oh, I need to shave off a couple seconds so people can know you got to whoop.
No, but it does add to that kind of like anxiety feeling of I'm outside and I don't want to get caught.
Probably doing something I shouldn't.
Probably
so I
doing
need to
something
get,
I
get
shouldn't.
going.
And I'm glad that you say like in the literal sense because as we know in songwriting in general and in Taylor Swift, there's a lot of metaphors that happen. And when the song came out, there were so many, I mean, people, the way that people just love to hate Taylor Swift songwriting is absolutely astonishing. They're like, oh my God, of course you're a deranged weirdo if you're looking in people's windows. Taylor, like, this is so weird. And it's like, she's not literally looking in people's windows. I've always pictured it in more so the form of like scrolling on social media. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like
looking through the proverbial window.
Exactly. You are looking into the lives of people and they don't know. I mean, sure, when you post something online, you're thinking that people will see it, but that person doesn't know when I'm looking at their post. You know, like it's kind of like I look in people's windows, I keep tabs, I'm seeing what other people are up to, especially in this song. I feel like it's the aftermath of a lost connection, right? The what ifs, which she gets into. And it's kind of, we've talked about it in other songs like Chloe or Sam and Sophia and Marcus and even the Black Dog, where it's like, it really is just a look into her mind of what is happening. What is this other person doing without me? It's that anxious feeling of looking in people's windows, you know?
It could also just be observing someone walking down the street. Oh, look at that family.
Yeah.
Wondering about them, their personal lives, who they are. They seem so happy.
And there is a word for that when you kind of like come to the realization that other people, like that when you're the background character to somebody else, you know, like when you're at the mall and you like walk by somebody and it's like you don't know who that person is, they just walk by you, but you also equally just walked by them.
Sure.
I don't like thinking about that.
It's weird. And there's a word for it, but I don't know what it is. It's not in a Taylor Swift song, so I don't. Maybe TS12.
Maybe. Fingers crossed.
Am I making you laugh today?
Yeah.
You know, you can always tell, I would think, if we've recorded an episode before this.
Because we get a little giggly.
Because we get a little giggly.
We get giggly.
Sometimes if we, go on a marathon recording session, spoiler alert, sometimes we record more than once in a day. And maybe if we're extra giggly, we've probably recorded something
We warmed up
already.
Yeah.
We warmed up. But
This
I wonder,
is truth.
I would be interested to know if people can tell which one was the warm-up episode and which one was the like giggly episode, which one's the hungover episode. Because let's be honest, that happens
had those.
sometimes.
What was the order? What song was it when we were talking about the escalator?
The slip and slide. Was it slut?
No, that was different.
No. What's the
That had to be like the seventh episode we
escalator.
recorded.
Labyrinth. I'm
Yeah.
afraid of
Escalator?
elevators, escalators. Escalators. Oh yeah, we were giddy. But that was also the episode where we were drinking Accelerator, and I swear there was alcohol in those.
All
Feel free
right.
to sponsor us.
Oh, that was so funny.
So good. Anyway, I look in
Lyrics.
people's windows.
Oh, so I forgot what I was going to say. Now I just remembered it. I'm so sorry. And this is not exciting. I should not have even prefaced with this. But let me tell you about my social media stalking.
Okay.
My graveyard. We all know if someone makes me mad, if a person, not a friend, someone I don't really care about makes me mad, then I put them in the graveyard. Someone
Right.
casual will get graveyarded. I change their name to all emojis and I will block them. Sometimes I will get a random text from graveyard and I'm like, I'm not even messing with it. I don't know. But on TikTok, I will see the graveyard come up and it's like,
from your contacts?
Person you might know is coming up from my contacts. And so
that's
then
bad.
I don't know who it is and I want to look, but I'm not going to do it. Because
not gonna give them that view?
You're not going to get that profile view from me because that's going to have my name right there. And I have different TikTok accounts for different clients and stuff. But even then, like I'm one person removed. It wouldn't
Yeah.
be that hard to figure out that it was me. So no, my pride will not let me go creeping on, and I don't know who it is. And I really want to know who it is. And there's multiple. But
That takes a lot of willpower.
It does. I also have another question. This is not regarding Taylor Swift at all. There's Finstagram, your fake Instagram. Is there a fake TikTok? What would that be called?
I guess I don't know if the's an actual. I mean, people just refer to them as like burner accounts.
Okay, not FicTok.
It should be FicTok.
I was just wondering.
You're treading water there with like fic-fock, you know.
I am.
I'm sure there's a word, but I wouldn't know because we're geriatrics.
That's true as well. Well,
Okay, so I look in people's windows. Did you guys actually see the connection between the song and Emily Dickinson?
yes.
I did not.
But tell us.
Well, please add on to it because I'm sure you have more. But somebody pointed out that the title and the premise of the song could be referencing Emily Dickinson's I Had Been Hungry All These Years, in which the persona talks about a life of being outside of a house and looking in through a window, which symbolizes a longing for connection. Taylor Swift was recently revealed to be distantly related to Emily Dickinson and has previously mentioned, she said at one point when she was talking about the different pens that she uses, glitter, gel pen, all of those. She said, if my lyrics sound like a letter written by Emily Dickinson's great-grandmother while sewing a lace curtain, that's me writing with a quill in the quill genre.
I love that.
And I don't know if I would necessarily count this song as a quill pen lyric song, but there is just that connection to the similar, the inspiration behind the Emily Dickinson.
I heard of an inspiration where we have the song Peter, where we haven't gotten
I'm
to.
so excited.
Peter Pan. This is the view of Peter Pan. She is Peter Pan looking through people's windows because that's what he would go to Wendy's window if the nightlight was on.
That just gave me the chills.
So this is Peter looking after she's turned out the light.
Yeah.
So now going to the house.
Yeah, wow. Okay.
So
Yeah.
then is Peter from Wendy's perspective, and she says, "Forgive me, Peter."
Yeah, she would be Wendy
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
and Peter.
And then
the
we'll
song Peter.
we'll connect it back to like Cardigan when we get
Right.
there. I'm
Peter
excited.
lives in Wendy.
That's
Yeah.
gonna be a fun episode.
So
But
that's just a theory.
That's
yeah.
really good. That's really good.
Also,
They do have-
some people say it's a continuation of The Outside from debut, that she's always talked about feeling left out and
Yeah.
not being included. She's the uncool person that no one
Right.
wants to hang out with. So
I mean, this is an
that-
exile. So, yes.
Did she ever perform this as a surprise song?
She had to have.
She did.
Oh yeah, she mashed it up with Snow on the Beach. I was gonna say it'd be cool if she mashed it up with The Outside.
Yeah.
But she mashed it mashed it up when she was in Madrid.
And some people say this could be the other side of Midnight Rain.
Oh,
This
yeah.
could be from the other perspective.
Because of the Christmas parties.
And a lot of people have drawn comparisons to Death by a Thousand Cuts because you're looking through the windows of this love. even though we bordered them up. So in Death by a Thousand Cuts, she's trying to look in the house and see if the love is still there.
Yeah.
And now the love is not. So besides sonically sounding the same a little bit, like it's actually two different songs.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that like somebody on TikTok had mashed up when it came out, mashed it up with Death by a Thousand Cuts, and it worked.
I think I
it
heard
worked
it.
really,
Yeah.
really well. Yeah, I could see that.
Let's get to some lyrics. She starts off by singing, I died the tiniest death. I spied the catch in your breath.
Like a hesitancy.
Yeah. Out, 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 out.
So
Okay, lots of theories on Tiniest Death. I think I know what's going to be said, so I'm going to go with the other one. So, Tiniest Death, Taylor Swift has referenced dying, rebirthing, Phoenix, all this different, she's always having to recreate and be different. Well, if she died the tiniest death and then was reborn as not a famous person, then some people think that her saying you in this song is referring to the non-famous Taylor.
Oh, wow.
And looking at, would we have made the right decisions? Would I look at a 8-year-old Taylor and tell her to write that poem and win and go off to Nashville and do everything? Or would you be a regular person this time around that doesn't have all the scrutiny, people peering at you through windows, you're in your own fishbowl, but now she's outside of the fishbowl, can't get in while she's on the outside.
And that's so good too, because it just supports the entire idea of the song of the what ifs, right? Wow, that's really good.
And then this is past tense, had died, spied. So this could have been an intimate moment where the tiniest death is le petit mort, which we've talked about before in other songs. The little death in, speaking as an orgasm in French. I think it's French.
Yes.
So the catch in your breath is like an intimate moment that they would have together in the past.
What is she getting at when she's saying out, out over and over again?
Like the sigh, the breath.
The
Yeah, I
breath
thought-
is out. There's no
Yeah.
more air.
And they're out of each other's lives because it's in the past.
Okay.
So it could have started with the breath and then just like they're gone
Been
now.
pushed out.
Yeah, I kind of have always in my head sung it as like the breath being pushed out. Because like you were saying, I think it's an intimate moment, but she's like reflecting back on, spoiler alert, they're gonna split up. You know what I mean? So it's like in that small, very, very personal moment, if you catch the way that they're breathing, but like you're not gonna have this moment again.
Yeah.
Also, the tiniest death could be the moment that her relationship ended, the one that she's curious about now, and whatever words, death of the breakup, final nail in the coffin right there. And that's kind of similar sentiments to as how did it end?
Yeah.
So the last breaths coming out,
Yeah.
the death rattle.
Northbound, I got carried away as you boarded your train. South, south. South, 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 south.
So they're going in different directions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's going north, he's going south.
Yeah.
And also, maybe as they're going in different directions, this is a newfound freedom, like what she hears in Florida. And some of the same sentiments fresh out of the Slammer, that she has this newfound freedom and she can be who she wants to be and leave her old life and former lover behind.
Yeah.
But she uses that time to stalk him. Like the newfound freedom. Oh, the other person. Got it. I'm following you.
A feather taken by the wind blowing. I'm afflicted by the not knowing.
I love the cadence in that one. And I think that goes back to what you were saying earlier, Nick, about just like the idea of just kind of floating by, right? Like just floating through life, a feather in the wind, very small, almost unnoticeable.
Like Forrest Gump's feather. It's just floating away.
I just watched it maybe for the first time.
Really? You never
Yeah.
seen Forrest Gump?
I had never seen it. Yeah.
What'd you think?
Watch it. I cried. Oh
Yeah.
my God. I bawled.
At the very end when he's talking. Sorry, spoiler. When he's talking.
Don't.
You never seen it?
No, I haven't.
Oh,
But there's some people that haven't.
yeah.
Like me.
At the very end when he's talking to Jenny at the very, very end.
I cried through that whole thing. I cried in the first like 10 minutes. I was bawling. And the worst part was I watched it. Ryan had already seen it. And I was like, is it going to make me sad? Is it going to make me cry? And he was like, no, I don't think so. And I cried in the first 10 minutes. And I said, what are we doing? Like, why would you do this to me? I think is what I said to him.
Does he not know you?
He was like, I didn't think he was like, I thought you would cry, but not that fast. Anyway, sidetracked.
So add it to the list of things we're going to break down. Macarena, Forrest Gump.
Sure.
And Evermore.
In that order.
If you see Amy.
And then we get to the chorus. Taylor says, I look in people's windows, transfixed by rose golden glows. Hey, we've all driven by the ex's house, right?
Do a little drive-by.
Yeah, drive by. Oh,
I have.
a different car is parked out front where mine used to be. Whose car does that belong to?
Ouch.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like we've said, I think she's just on the outside looking in. And then also, I think it's interesting to point out that she says rose golden glows because it could refer to like rose-colored glasses, which is a term that usually refers to having an optimistic outlook on life. However, here it is used in a pessimistic tone when Taylor seems hopeful that she will find what she's looking for, but it's unlikely that looking in people's windows will lead her to finding what she's looking for.
And when she looks in those windows, what does she see? They have their friends over to drink nice wine. You're having a party, you didn't invite me.
Yeah.
Like, I've become that. Like, that's now my status. Like, you're not going to text me to come over.
Right.
You're
Your life-
texting
your-
other people to come over.
Your life is still going on without me,
Exactly.
which hurts because your life should actually not go
Right.
on without me.
It used to couldn't do anything without me.
Yeah.
Right.
I look in people's windows in case you're at their table. What if your eyes looked up and met mine one more time?
Would this rekindle the spark?
Yeah, it's that hopefulness behind it. You know, it's the reason that you are looking.
Yeah, even though I'm stalking you, we can make it look like, oh, I just so happened to be at the supermarket at the same time.
That's
oh,
so crazy.
and our eyes met. And our eyes met. Is that going to rekindle this flame?
Right.
You had stopped and tilted your head. I still ponder what it meant. Now.
So I think she's just kind of still questioning those like little actions that she might have overlooked in the relationship, right? Like you stopped and pondered your head, like probably wondering, and I'm still wondering what it meant. And then I saw somebody say that that's also like an action that dogs do, which could refer back to the golden retriever line in the Tortured Poets department.
Tattooed golden retriever.
Tattooed golden retriever, you know, like stops and tilts his head, and you're wondering why.
Yeah.
Also, if this is a fantasy and she's talking about like wanting a soulmate, not necessarily a person, but that person. And so you're kind of looking at everybody as a potential, even if it's just walking past somebody at a glance. So then it's like, okay, you're walking past a stranger and they stop and look real quick. And then it's like, well, but what did that mean?
Yeah.
Do I need to go stop them? Do I need to introduce myself? Was that just, but she's so busy and she's going that she doesn't stop and ask. But could that have been something? Am I just walking past my potential?
Yeah, was it a misconnection?
Someone did say this is a song for Craigslist misconnections.
I tried searching faces on streets. What are the chances that you'd be downtown?
Downtown. And that just reminds me of like, you know, she's like said it before where she looks for a face in a crowd.
Well, and yeah, you're looking at faces in the crowd. You're trying to find the one face that you're looking for.
Right.
And you're searching and it's not there.
Yeah. And it's also just the different, like, if you're looking in people's windows, you're looking out on the streets, you're looking everywhere for that small slimmer of hope and chance or answers, closure. Well,
All of them.
evermore.
And man, this is kind of a knife to the heart, this next line. Does it feel all right to not know me?
That hurts.
I'm addicted to the if only. Oh,
And-
if only.
And I think that's my favorite part of the song, just in the way that she says it. To the if only, 'cause
So, does it feel all right to not know me? Famous Taylor is asking non-famous Taylor that. Or is that in a sense of she's moved on, now you don't know me anymore. You knew me, kind of like don't be a stranger who's
Laugh, I'd
thank you.
recognize
yeah.
anywhere.
Thank you. And she kind of says the same in The Black Dog. how you don't miss me in the shower.
Yeah.
And addicted is a negative connotation based on like obsession. So she's addicted to the if only, but she loves playing out every scenario in her head. But is that healthy for her?
Right.
If
It's almost like
an addiction.
it's almost like low-key self-harm.
Sure.
You know, like when you do stalk your ex, or you stalk the person, the if only, or when you hyperfixate on this situationship, that you know, it kind of relates back to the one from folklore. You know,
Absolutely. If
you
one
know.
thing had been different, would everything be different today?
Right. It's like she is, since we have heard that before, it's like, yeah, maybe she is just addicted to the wondering, like, if only, what if.
And that's a lot of putting a lot of the weight on her shoulders for maybe why this didn't work out.
Right.
If I had
It's like self-afflicting.
said this, if I had done that, if I had shown up to this get together when I didn't, if I had done something different, we'd be back together.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, it sounds very similar to wondering if I dodged a bullet or just lost the love of my life.
What a great song.
So I look in people's windows like I'm some deranged weirdo. Okay, finally, you said it. We've been thinking it this whole time, Taylor.
And when that song first came out, and all the dogs that are like looking in the windows that won't leave their owner alone, and it's like, oh, go outside and play, and they're just standing in the windows staring at you. That was really popular on social media when this came out.
I attend Christmas parties from outside. Oh, that's sad. It's cold out there.
Is that the line that brings you back to Midnight Rain, Lacey?
Well, the Midnight Rain is the what if. What if I give... I'm not going to give everything up. You're great. I'm not going to give everything up. I'm going to go out and be bejeweled. But then this is kind of like if it went in the other direction.
Yeah.
If I did go home and not worry about fame and fortune and being this creative top of the world artist.
Right.
I look in people's windows in case you're at their table. What if your eyes looked up and met mine one more time?
What a beautiful song.
It is.
So good.
What an absolutely beautiful, beautiful song. Oh, yeah. It took me a while to really, truly appreciate it. But in my defense, it is track 25.
It takes a long time to get
It
there.
took me a minute to get there.
For sure.
But I really appreciate it. And I it's like so sweet sounding, you know, but it's so sad.
It is.
So
That's a common theme.
It seems to be.
someone said that they interpreted this as a celebrity crush situation where you see so much of yourself in an artist's work or persona that you just wish you got the chance to know them more than just a fan, even as simply a friend. So in that context, the does it feel all right to not know me is like, could be her wondering if the fans are okay with this version that she's putting out of herself, that she's not being authentic and putting everything out there because she's still the brand, the Taylor Swift, the celebrity that she has to do all this.
Right.
So is that also like a callback to the fans? Does it feel all right to not know me? You know what I let you know.
That's
not,
very true.
But I mean, then as an artist, she also has to protect herself. It's
Yeah.
not our business what she's doing all the time. She does not owe us anything, any answers, anything.
I know. And it is funny. I think about that sometimes, like now in the current era that we're in, where like the Eras tour's over, we know she still has more re-records. She's probably working on new music. And, you know, we always wonder, like, what is she going to do next? And we talk about it on the podcast a lot. But it's funny to me, sometimes people will ask me as if I, like, genuinely know. You know what I mean? Like, they'll be like, oh, so when's Taylor putting out a new album? And I'm like, oh, contrary to popular belief, I don't know her plans, you know? But it's interesting that, like, as Taylor Swift fans, since we do, you know, study her lyrics and her Easter eggs and things, that the average person thinks that we actually do have the answers to things. But we don't. We don't know her. We don't know
It
her.
would be great.
I do. She's bringing back Loverfest. That is
Right,
my
right, yes.
prediction.
That's
I
on the-
think
That's
I
on the
think-
bingo board. Oh, we did knock something off of our bingo board, by the way.
Yeah?
We did.
What was it?
Hold on, let me.
Something about Super Bowl?
It was Super Bowl weekend, but we had said on our bingo board, we
Hey.
said that Taylor and Kylie Kelsey would have a girls' night out. And when they were in New Orleans, it was Taylor, Kylie Kelsey, and a few other people.
They had
but
like
still,
a dinner.
yeah,
out.
they were like at a dinner. It was like a girls' dinner, like the
Yeah.
weekend of the
That's
Super
great.
Bowl.
Nice.
So does that count? Do we cross it off of our?
Yeah, it does.
Nice. Cross it off. All right, lobsters, if you don't know what we're talking about, that is our 2025 bingo board where we are predicting all of our Taylor Swift moments from this year. Some of them are crazy. Some of them are very broad because we just like to win sometimes. But you can check that out. Also, don't forget to join us over in the Lobster Lounge. You can join us there, station.page/13. And it's just a little group where we get together and talk about our theories, talk about Taylor Swift, talk about our favorite moments from the Eras Tour, whatever you want. Talk about anything that we missed in a song. Tell us your favorite song. Give us your rankings. Maybe we need to start looking ahead at rankings and we need some ideas.
Yeah.
So just let us know, station.page/13. Would love to see you there.
All right, before we get going, let's hear from some of our lovely lobsters and the voicemails that they left us.
Yeah, so you can give us a call anytime. Our phone number is 689
In the description of this podcast.
Yes,
That's where it is.
689 Reputation 89 Valentine's Day 214 1313.
Yes.
Yeah, it's so easy to remember.
I hate thinking in real time because it makes me start. I'm like, oh, this is so awkward because it's real and now they know how long that takes.
It's crazy. So I've been using the same document for our podcast notes. So I have it at the very top, our phone number. And it's titled 13 A Taylor Swift Fan Podcast, April 2021 to present.
No,
That's when we
yeah,
started,
that's
April
when we started.
2021.
It is crazy.
Yeah, so give us a call. We would love to hear from you. And we've got some really cool listeners who are doing work for us, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I really have to applaud these people. So we have some mini producers that are giving us a game plan.
Oh, right. Love that.
Hi, this is 13 A Taylor Swift podcast, and you don't want to hear me and my friend yap about Taylor Swift. Delete this number and act like we never called. So I think I agree with Nick. We need an episode breaking down the Macarena. Okay, so finish Torture Post Department, Macarena, then Evermore. There, all your problems solved. Bye.
Love it.
Thank you.
See, it's a hit.
All of our
the
problems
people
solved.
have spoken.
The people have spoken. Macarena coming to a podcast near you before Evermore. Confirmed.
And also, we got a voicemail from this funny lobster who told us what's living rent-free in their mind.
Hi, 13 podcasts. Lacey, I knew you still wouldn't have put a actual voicemail for me to hear, instead I just have to hear that weird AI Google voicemail voice thing, whatever. But I also wanted to have this additional one to tell you there are Taylor Swift songs that kind of, live rent-free in my mind, but that actually doesn't happen as much as this happens. I'm gonna say what actually lives rent-free in my mind because what I listen to more. This is what my mind keeps saying. 13 has been my lucky number for a while, like it's always a sign of good things to come for me. Or it's like, da-da-da-da-da-da. This is 13, a Taylor Swift fan podcast, breaking down every song, every Easter egg, every era, and every theory. Hosted by the biggest Swifties, Nick Adams, Anna Szabo, Amy Nichols, and Lacey G. Welcome to 13, a Taylor Swift fan podcast. My name's Nick Adams. I'm Anna, Amy, and I'm Lacey G. Yeah, that's basically, yeah. So, yeah. Bye.
Bye. That's so.
That was so cute.
It was perfect.
I guess I've never noticed that our voice girl Alicia, she introduces us.
Yeah.
And then we immediately introduce ourselves again.
You're
Yes.
right.
I've never thought about that.
Yes, but it's good because we need people to know whose voice is whose.
That's very
Right.
true.
You know?
It's important.
It is important.
Have we ever interviewed Alicia on our podcast?
No, but we've talked about
should.
it.
Maybe we should.
We have
So y'all can hear the name, who this person is
Yeah.
that does our voice.
one time because she went with us to a Taylor Swift night or something,
Yeah.
and we posted a video like on our TikTok or
Yeah.
something, and it was Alicia saying that, and some of the comments were like, "What? What?" And
Hold
they're
on.
like, "This feels illegal."
Hey, do we call her?
No.
No.
Would she
full
recognize the
podcast.
phone number?
Full
she,
podcast.
she has it blocked.
You guys, she's got to do. No.
we should have her on sometime soon, though.
That'd be cool.
Yeah,
That'd be cool.
That would be really great. I love that. But that was a really sweet voicemail to
That was
hear.
great.
And I also want to say thank you for not just like skipping it.
Yeah.
You know, like
True.
you could
Yeah.
you could skip it, don't do it. But you could, but you don't. And that's really means a lot. That's really sweet.
So our friend Alicia was a teacher, and she knew you were going up and doing presentations. Or
Yes,
like
I would go and speak to the students.
For career day, right?
For-
career
yeah.
day. Well, she had some students like tell her that they loved the podcast, the 13 podcast. Had no idea what she had done or anything. And she was like, "Yeah, do you listen all the time?" "Yeah." "Well, play it right now." And then she mimicked it and they were like, "Oh my goodness." They had no idea she was like radio girl and doing
Yeah.
all this. So
That's so great.
yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for listening to this podcast or watching on our YouTube. Thank you so much. If you haven't, all of the ways to contact us are in the description of this podcast. Our phone number, our voicemail, our email, our website. You can find all that in the description of this podcast. If you haven't already, subscribe to us on whatever podcasting platform you're listening to us on right now. And join us next time. We're going to be breaking down the prophecy.
Thanks for listening. The 13, a Taylor Swift fan podcast. Subscribe for free and leave a positive review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or Google Podcasts.